Okay, so we're going to get into our next level of order of operations, which is exponents. What we did last lesson was we talked about multiplication and division being higher than addition and subtraction. Keeping in mind we're talking parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So we are going to simply add this level to what we did yesterday. So with that said, as long as you still have those two things down, as long as you practiced like you were supposed to yesterday, or as long as you are willing to ask questions today to take care of that, today we're only adding one thing. In my opinion, the toughest part of coping with exponents is taking our time and actually working them out. So before we get to that, let's make sure we understand what exponents actually are. A power is created when a base is taken to an exponent. So you have a b here for base, you have a little e here for exponent. In this power, the b represents the base, which is the big number. The e represents the exponent. What the exponent does is it tells us how many times to expand the base through multiplication. So let's look at some really quick examples just to show you what you're going to do anytime you have an exponent in your problem. 4 to the third is how you say this one. 4 to the third means take the base of 4, expand it 3 times. So 4 times 4 times 4. Which, if we wanted that answer, all we have to do is take our calculator, 4 times 4 times 4, type it in, and find out that the answer here is 64. When we see the next one, 2 to the fifth, it means take the base of 2, expand it 5 times. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, to get that answer, make sure you type it in right, kind of like I just did not. And even count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we get the answer of 32. If we see something like 3 to the fourth, it means take the base of 3 and expand it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then take your calculator and carefully type in your 3 4s, which gives us the answer of 81. When it comes to the placement in the order of operations, exponents should be simplified before the multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, the stuff that we did yesterday. It's easy to understand because exponents just look weird. Whenever you look at the problem, it doesn't look like yesterday. It looks like something where it just throws everything off. So if you look at this problem here, notice that this exponent is the only part that throws off what we're used to seeing, and that is a sign. So what we should do is deal with this exponent first so that we can simplify it, keeping in mind that 3 squared is 3 times 3, which means that this now turns into a 9 plus 5 minus 6 times 2. And from there we would just look for the first teacher, which is here, and follow the steps that we did yesterday. Again, now that the exponent is gone, it looks like a problem that we have seen before. The best way to simplify exponents is to do the scratch work off to the side, and what that does is it keeps us from confusing our actual work and allows us to stay on track. So I've got 3 examples here to wrap up your lesson here today, and then from there you'll go get some practice and we'll see what happens. 50 minus 4 times 2 to the third power. Again, once you look at this, it looks different than yesterday because we have this part here. So we will deal with this exponent first by expanding our base of 2 3 times. Again, do it off to the side because that way I don't get confused with what's going on over here. And then I grab my calculator, do 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So I do 50 minus 4 dot, because it's times, and then that turns into an 8. Now we do what we did yesterday, looking for our first teacher, which is here. 4 times 8, if you need your calculator, is fine. Just type it in. Gives me the answer of 32. And then 50 minus 32, if you don't know, is 18. I will show you how to type this into your calculator later on this week, but for right now I want to make sure you're doing it the right way. So other than that, just make sure you get what we just did, which is simplify the exponent. That was your e. And then once we got rid of the exponent, we do our MDAS work, which is your multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction work. On the second example, you have here 5 times 2 squared divided by 2 plus 8. This is my exponent. It needs to be expanded and worked out. We of course know that 2 times 2 is 4. So I come back over here, 5 times, again turn that into 4, divided by 2 plus 8. Now that we have the exponents gone, we're looking for the first teacher. Remember, multiplication or division. 5 times 4 turns into 20. Everything else gets rewritten. The first teacher, or multiplication division, is here. 10 plus 8, which again gives us the answer of 18. Typing it off to the side to make sure first. Yep. And then this problem here, the last one we're going to look at, notice it has 2 exponents, and my advice to you is that whenever you're dealing with exponents, if all the parentheses are gone, you can actually simplify all of your exponents at once in one step. I don't mean any other thing, but exponents is the only time when I can say 2 to the third off to the side is 2 times 2, which is 4 times 2 is 8, and I can also go off to the side and do my 4 squared, which is 16. What that allows me to do is come back here, turn my 2 to the third into 8 minus 6 divided by 3 plus, I can turn this into 16 times 2. Again, if there's more than one exponent in your step, and that's the step that you're on, you can actually simplify all of your exponents at one time. Now again, we look for the first teacher, which is this one. 7 plus 8 minus, that's going to be a 2, plus 16 times 2. Looking again for the first teacher, which is here. 7 plus 8 minus 2 plus 32. No more teachers in line, so we work it out. First student, which is here. 15 minus 2 plus 32. Work it out here. 15 minus 2 is 13 plus 32. And then putting those two together is 45. Again, always the first student in line once you get down to your addition and subtraction work. As you can see, exponents really don't add much difficulty. The only hard part is just make sure you're patient enough to take your time and work them out in the scratch work area. Don't confuse yourself. Again, the biggest issue that most of you have in math is not that you're not smart enough to do it, it's because you're not organized, and the way you write things kind of confuses what you're looking at and you get lost. So again, also be sure to expand your exponents until you absolutely understand how they work. A common mistake that some of you are going to do, again, not because you are not smart enough, but because some of you are just lazy and some of you are just in a rush, is to look at 3 squared and think 3 times 2 is 6. But if you expand it the way you're supposed to, the base of 3 expanded twice, then you understand your actual answer is 9. So please take your time and things should work out. Come get your worksheet and work on that for the rest of the day. And other than that, good luck. And again, make sure you're working together and asking whatever questions you need to ask.